Welcome everybody to the Sunday stream. I decided this looked all right, but it wasn't quite perfect. So I decided today I did that one setting, yesterday. I decided today that I would fix all of them. There was a little one right here. There's a couple on the other side. We're going to do the other side again. And I'm just going to stream this. It'll be a boring stream. I'm just going to stream it all the way through until I get tired, bored, until I get these all fixed. So the sequence of events is I fixed this and I buffed it and it looked okay. It would have passed from 15 foot away. Now, you couldn't see it from 15 foot away. But I'm the type of person that I know it's there. It bothered me. So I couldn't let it go. I had to redo them. So I taped her off, and I got some 400, and I'm re-blending it in. What is the nice thing about lacquer or dope or whatever is you can make a repair that will be 100% perfect. I mean, depending on whether you want to make it perfect or not. Got the tail wheel locked up. So the procedure, I'll see if we can zoom in and you can see this other side. Now the other side didn't come out as good as this side, but we're going to do both sides anyway. If you look right here, you can see that it's not perfect. And I'm going to go ahead and there's two right here, two small ones, and one back there. I'm going to sand those out and dust those as well. And the reason that happened is that I floated too much paint in there. There's just no other way around it. And anytime the paint is sitting in a wet state, the solvents soften up the primer. It'll be a busy month next month. I didn't realize I have to go to Indianapolis twice. Unreal. So I won't be flying, but I do want to do my duty of appearance judging. I've recruited a couple of guys that are good builders and who have appearance judged before. Okay, so here we have a spot. I can kind of see that spot, and like I say, it would be okay from 15 foot away. You can't see it on camera. Let's see if I can zoom this out. Come on. Now you can't see it. So I'm not sure that that I would have to do that, but just for personal reasons, I have to get it out of there. We're going to take some 400 and sand it one more time. They went away, but I'm not sure that they won't come back when I put paint on it, because that thinner is softening it up. But if they come back, I'll do it again. You guys are probably thinking, wow, what a nut. But I wanted a stunt plane finish on a scale model to see, because I look at some of them scale models and they don't have the finish this does. I don't know whether it will help me in any way. If you have a question, go ahead and type it into the chat box. I can see the chat box today. So there's that one. Let's do these two right here too. I would like to get those out. I'm not going to slit those. I'm just going to sand through the bubbles. And they're very small. I think the reason that those did it is because it's such a tight turn. There's no radius. It's just straight up and down. Using a polywog, I'm using the long end of the polywog now to get in this tight corner. Stand on this side. These we'll just get a dusting because they weren't bad. This one here was bad, and this one here was bad. But as long as between now and the Nationals they don't lift, which they shouldn't because I haven't put much paint on it. Should be okay. Sometimes I have a friend who's a diabetic and I get his syringes. Sometimes when that happens, I'll take a syringe full of CA and shoot CA in it and push the bubble down. I've been waiting to be stopped by the police with syringes filled with CA. And I'm saying it's drug paraphernalia. Boy, if you ever shot yourself up with CA, that'd be the end of that. You know, it really kind of bums me out. When I was a kid, we had Revell glue. And man, it was good stuff. You put it on the plastic and it would melt the plastic. And I guess it was the toluene in it. And we had a little shed behind my dad's hobby shop because it was a dry cleaner next door to the hobby shop. And in that shed there was boilers and things. Well, when they moved out of there, drug addicts used to come to the hobby shop, buy Revell glue, and then go hide in the back of the shop and sniff that glue. And maybe because, you know, I've been around models all my life, I had no interest in sniffing glue because I smell it all the time. Same with the dope. It doesn't have much of an effect on me. Matter of fact, I like the smell, but it, you know, it doesn't get high or anything. But I didn't realize them guys they ruined it for us by sniffing that stuff. Because that was the best glue. It only takes a few knuckleheads to ruin it for everybody. Okay, it seems to be fairly good. There's one little spot there that could use it, I guess. Remember, this is the second time I've done this. Only because the first time didn't turn out perfect. And if this doesn't turn out perfect, I'll do it a third time. Whatever. Do whatever it takes. You know, most people don't think about cost. But the cost of this model is close to $3,000. And I'll tell you why. Now, I was donated, this is the prototype for Brodak, the Brodak shoestring kit. But if I had to buy it, that shoestring kit, I think, is around $250. So you figure, okay, $250 for the kit. There's at least, see, I have the sound card in this, I have the radio, the battery's $100 a piece, the motor is $100, so there's 2, 3, 5, so there's $1,000 in radio gear, including the transmitter, probably 1,500, probably 1,200. So we say we got $1,500 in that. The chartreuse paint for this was $50 for 1 quart. $50. Then you have the covering materials. So in just the finish, there's $300, maybe $400 just in finish. The wheels and the belt crank, there's $50 in controls in this. So when you start adding these things up, people say, well, how much is that worth? Well, $3,000, and that doesn't cover my labor. So when you got that much money and time invested in something, you kind of want it to be perfect. At least I do. I want to thank John again for giving me the kit. Okay, so there's still a little spot there. What the heck is going on? Keep the sanding. If you can feel it, you'll be able to see it. Not sure, maybe I'm sanding in the wrong direction. This side here turned out real nice. You can't feel it, but it's that long, so I had a long ways to feather it out. Let's see. Look here. Copy the video URL, and we're going to paste it right there. Control V. I'd like to see who's watching it, if anybody. Yeah, all in one. This wasn't a how-to, it was just a hangout with Sparky on a Sunday. Show you that I'm still working on making my shoestring perfect. Because I figure if it looks good 2 foot away, it ought to look outstanding at 15 foot away. John Brodak's internet connections were a little faster. I would probably try to do a live stream from Brodak, but I guess we could try it, but I don't know if it's going to work or not. As I stated, we're going to have a little competition. This here is a kit that I made, and I have the patterns in here for those gliders that I made the other day. I don't know whether you guys were watching the other one, but here's two of the gliders. We're gonna have a little competition at Rodak. Took 2 hours for the first one because I was explaining how to do it, and everything. But maybe we have a little competition at Rodak's flying. They fly really good. Magic markers to decorate it. Yeah. I'll tell you this, on those gliders, the one that's not painted flies better than the one that's painted. I made those out of 3/32. I'm going to try to make one out of 16 to see if it even flies better. But I don't know. Okay, so I've sanded with 400. Now, because I'm not really floating this, I don't want to put wet paint on it. I just want to dust it on. I'm going to take 1200 wet and sand over the top of that. No, I still can feel it. I might have to feather it way back like I did the other side. Yep. Yep. Feather way back. I just don't want to use too much paint there because it's low. It will pool there and cause it to do it again. Keep the sand. Oh, I can float a little CA on there and sand it out. You notice it's getting bigger and bigger, and that's okay, as long as you can't feel it. It transitions nice here, but it doesn't right here. I can feel it. And if you can feel it, it will stick out like a sore thumb. I guess I should call this video fillet repair. Now back here, where I took the polywog and ran it in the corner there, I don't believe we're going to paint any red. We're just going to leave it as is, shoot a little clear over the top of it, and polish it out because I knocked the tops of those bubbles off pretty good. They break through the skin. Remember, if it looks good at 2 foot, it'll look great at 15, that's for sure. Should have went and got some primer today. Boring, 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 boring. That should be much better though than it was. You would hope. Now we're going to use a 1200 on there and see if that helps at all. Yep. Okay, so now let's paint. So we know we're not going to paint this whole thing. We're just going to paint right here. How would you do it? Well, what I do is I tape everything off like I was going to paint the whole area. One right there too, but I don't want to mess with that one. So small. Probably after it sits in the sun, and if they come out any worse than that, I will address those. But I really don't want to. I don't want to make an all-day project out of this. So, feels pretty good. Still might could use a little more sand in there. Wish I had some primer. I would dust that with some primer. I guess we use the red as a primer. We might have to do this spot again. Still, I can still feel it slightly. So, okay, let's tape it up and we'll shoot some paint on it and I'll let it dry. Oh boy. Okay. Now we're getting ready to paint. Last piece of paper. So, after all that sanding, this is the second time doing this. Might take a third, whatever it takes is what it takes. We're ready to do it. Got my gun clogged up. So, light coats. I certainly don't want to flood that on there and have it happen again. I'll wait just a few minutes between each time I shoot it, because the airbrush doesn't really put much paint on. And where I sanded those bubbles out right there, that looks perfect. The clear's already mixed up in the gun, and as soon as we'll give it another coat here in a couple of minutes, and then I'll take the paper off and do the other side, and then we'll clear it both at the same time. I'll sand it once again and blend it out, and it'll do just fine. I'm thinking about that I really need to paint this spinner ring one more time. And the reason is it's a little off color, because that spinner came and it was anodized brown. And I primed the nose cone itself, but I didn't prime the backing plate. Brown and red make deep brown, so it's kind of crappy looking. So we'll end up fixing that too. But I'll be going over this model with a fine-tooth comb here between now and the National and Brodex, because Brodex will be my first scale contest ever entering. And I'd like to do well there, to see how I do at the Nationals. So that's good. We got that. That's all we need there. We'll go ahead and turn it around and do the other side. So if you've been watching along with us, you'll know that even though this is the second repair, the majority amount of time was spent in the sanding. And it's a little bit, it looks like it's a little bit darker or whatever. That's because it doesn't have the clear on it. Once the clear's on it and it's buffed, it's just fine. So, turned around here. And we'll go through the rigmarole one more time. There's a spot right there too, but we're not going to worry about those. Now I'm just going to fix these. So as I stated, if it looks good from 2 foot away, it will look fantastic from 15 foot away. This one here, we're gonna put a little paint on that, so I'm gonna have to take that off too. Okay, now this one's a little different. We're going to be painting all the way back here on this one spot that got kind of screwed up, so we have to accommodate for that by taping around the underside of the wing. And I hope I didn't. It's fine. I thought maybe I might have smudged that other paint. I didn't. This piece is not long enough. Well, I didn't realize Bob Kruger was in bad shape. Everybody needs to pray for Bob Kruger. I guess that explains why it was lagging on the plan. We won't hold that against him, that's for sure. Okay, we have that taped off to where we can more or less paint this. That one turned out good. You can't see that at all. Not one bit. One more coat. We'll call that good. We'll go back. We'll go to clear. So that's basically how I do fillet repair. You kind of got to tape to the panel line or wherever the transition would be. Normally, I would sand into the chartreuse and repair it that way, but I don't have any more of that chartreuse, and because that's a custom color, even if I were to have John mix me another quart, it will not look the same. So I had to repair it at the chartreuse line, and I was hoping that would work out, and it did. So. Well, I'm happy with that, at least this side anyway. I don't know what the other side looks like. So let's demask it. I'm probably going to stop the stream. It needs to dry for a little while before I clear it. And as I stated, I don't want to load the paint up and have that paint puddled up on there. I'd like to have it dry between coats because I don't want to do it again. Funny thing about paint red is the furnace filter turns red. Of course, I doubt it will. This little bit we shot today. But when I paint a red airplane, the furnace filter turns red. Now, once the clear is on there, it will blend in perfect. So that's how I repair those. And you'd rather not have them to start with, but if you gotta have them, there is an easy fix for it. Not like, not like it's the total end of the world. That doesn't look bad. I need to see if there was an experimental sticker on that somewhere. That's really odd about the scale thing. You know, this picture I have here, it doesn't have that on there, but I have seen pictures on the internet where it does say that it's on there. So I guess we're not going to go by what I've seen, we're going to go by what I have. The free views doesn't show it on there. I don't know. Anyway, thanks for watching the fillet repair series. It's three different live streams, all about half an hour apiece. And that's really all the time I spent on it. I didn't spend any much time off camera doing anything, so there's no hidden hanky-panky or anything like that. The only thing that I did off camera was clear it and of course buff it. Now we've done it twice. This is the second time it's been done. And if I got to do it a third time, I will. It takes what it takes. But it looks good at 2 foot, so it'll look great at 15. Of course, I don't know how I don't know anything about scale. Nothing. Never entered a scale competition. This is my first scale airplane. If I do well, I'll probably build another one. So anyway, that's the end of this reel. We'll see you again. I'm probably not going to do any more on the shoestring. You can see it's been repaired and what it takes to do the job. No sense in bringing it back. So until tomorrow, fair winds, tight lines. See ya.